Excel interview questions and answers, Microsoft 2024 list. Knowledge of Excel is one of the most valued skills an organization demands. Lacking Excel skills can lead to lesser chances of clearing an interview. There are a lot of ways by which the candidates can improve their knowledge of Excel and prepare for the Excel interview questions and answers.
But before we start moving forward, make sure to subscribe channel and click on the bell icon. Sprintzeal provides training programs, certification programs on their websites. If you're interested in them, do check out the links in the description.
There are numerous kinds of MS Excel interview questions that the candidate can prepare for. To begin with, Excel software has a lot of benefits and is a special program meant for the purpose of documentation of information along with analysis. It comprises a lot of rows and columns. The points where the rows and columns in Excel meet are known as a cell. The cell carries a single point of data or the information in a single piece. This makes the user to locate the data easily in Excel. This also proves to be beneficial in gathering information by altering data. We have jotted down the ideal answers in this article for the most common MS Excel interview questions frequently asked. Having a good cover of information on these MS Excel interview questions is never a waste. We have accompanying sets of various questions as per various levels which are very common among several organizations. Top Microsoft Excel interview questions and answers in 2024. These are among the most relevant MS Excel interview questions. Questions during the interview are usually open-ended MS Excel interview questions. It validates and gauges the level of proficiency and skills so that in-depth information suitable will be collected from the candidates. Professionals should have good knowledge about sample MS Excel interview questions and answers to speed up their chances of interview selection. Now let's dive into the basics of Excel to the advanced level of MS Excel interview questions. What can a person understand from cells in an Excel sheet? A cell is a portion in Excel that witnesses the intersections of columns and rows in a table. The place where the data needs to be inserted is known as a cell. The number of cells present in a single Excel sheet is 1048 x 16384. This is also one of the most commonly asked Excel interview questions and answers. How can you explain the spreadsheet? The following can be termed as the gathering or the cluster of cells that allow the user to manage or arrange the data in a proper manner. There can be more than one worksheet in one workbook. The sheets can be checked at the lower part of the window with the names by which they are assigned. How can you define cell address? In an Excel sheet, we can say that the cell address can be termed as the address that the user can get by joining the number of rows and columns alphabet. In Microsoft Excel, each and every cell will carry another particular cell address. Can cell be added? Definitely, a lot of new cells can be added to an Excel sheet. There is a method by which we can add cells anywhere we want to. For this, the user has to select the option of adding a new cell and then choose the cell where the user wants new cells to be inserted. The user has to then click on the insert option to end the task. There is a probability that the user can face these kinds of Excel interview questions in his interview. He is required to prepare for the following properly. Can comments be added to a cell? If yes, then how? Absolutely, we can add comments to a cell. We can do this by choosing the option of New Comment after selecting the entire cell. The user can find the following by clicking the right mouse button after selecting the cell. The users who have the access to Excel sheet will be able to find the following option. Is it possible to add new rows and columns to the Excel sheet? It is possible to add new rows and columns to an Excel sheet. A user can add new rows and columns by clicking the right mouse button on the page after selecting the place where the following needs to be added. The user then needs to select the option of the insert, which will allow them to select a whole column or a row. How can a note be added to the cell? The user is required to select the cell in which a note is to be added and click the right mouse button on the following cell. The user then needs to select the option of New Note and type any note according to his choice. The user can click on the Delete Note option if he seeks to delete the following note. The user can detect the notes by a red triangle at the uppermost corner of the cell. What needs to be done in a situation where the cell addresses are copied but the user doesn't need to modify them? If the user doesn't wish to modify the cell addresses and still copy the formulas, then he needs to utilize the absolute cell addresses. When the absolute cell references have been used, the addresses of rows and columns do not get modified and they remain the same. If the user doesn't need both row and column but only one of them, then what is the thing they need to do? If the user wishes to use the change only the row or the column, then he has to utilize the mixed cell addresses. The following allows the user to change a particular column or row, but this cannot help them to change both of them at a time. This is one of the important questions they need to practice for the Microsoft Excel interview. How can we define macros? We can define macros by saying that it is the recorder that allows the user to automate the tasks done on a regular basis in Excel by recording them in the following. It can also be called action or a cluster of actions that the user can perform numerous times. For instance, if it is necessary for the user to maintain a record of the cells on a regular basis, at the end of the day, the user can make a macro to evaluate the cells automatically along with the profits and losses on regular basis. This recorded data can be used afterward in case of queries instead of evaluating the data manually each and every day. What are the consequences of checking the option of Defer Layout Update, which is present in the Pivot Table Fields window? When the user checks the option of Defer Layout Update, he doesn't find any kind of drastic change when he alters the table fields within themselves. Generally, the following option remains unchecked or off. The drastic change will only take place after the user chooses the Update button while checking the following. Is it possible to create pivot tables using tables of different worksheets? The user can create these tables using different worksheets only if both the sheets belong to the same workbook. One has to go through numerous steps for creating this table by involving two sheets that are completely different from each other. The steps begin by opening the pivot table wizard and end by creating the table by merging two or more tables together. When the tables are specified, go to the following Excel sheet and select the particular tables to choose for merging. These are some of the essential Excel interview questions and answers that the candidate needs to know before going for the interview.
If you found this video informative and useful, we'll always bring new concepts explained for you, so stay tuned with Sprintzeal, and if you like the video, do share. If have any doubts or queries, do let us know in the comment section. Use the coupon code YouTube10 in our website to get 10% off on all our courses.